What is up, boyos? It is Water Buffalo Man here to back more Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Alright, so we are going to be showcasing the Super Saiyan 4 Gohan from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes crossover collaboration they just did. We've been doing a lot of Dragon Ball Heroes on the channel recently. We're going to continue that trend leading into November. So we're going to be showcasing this 100% Super Saiyan 4 Gohan, who is a Giant 8 Power 150 in Key 3, raises attack and defense for 1 turn on his Super, as well as 200% to attack on his passive, damage reduction of 50% when there's 2 or more Giant Ape category allies on the team, plus an additional 50% defense and high chance of stunning when performing a super attack, plus an additional attack 100 when there's another crossover category ally attacking in the same turn. Mine is 100% and link level 10, and he has his best linking partner with the Bardock on team. So let's hope we can get a really solid rotation going and have a good start. We got a decent first rotation. We're going to be taking on the baby red zone because I don't know how well this unit will fare against some of the newer red zones yet. So let's test this one and see how well he does. Alright, so he has a great type advantage right here. So he has 5 links active with this guy. He gets 6 with the Bardock. So luckily the Bardock will be rotating on next rotation. So let's get him these 3 key spheres and boom. The Goku and the Vegeta do give support. So he gets 40% from the Goku, whoops, and then I think 40% from the Vegeta, right? Yes. So now this Gohan has an additional 40% attack and 40% defense. So his attack stat is 858,000 and defense of 244,000. So not terrible defensively. The good thing is he has the 50% damage reduction all the time, and he gets an additional 50% defense when supering, plus an additional 100% attack when there's a crossover category ally attacking the same turn. So he'll get that buff as well once he attacks. So his defense will go up a little bit more once he does initiate an attack. Will initiate a super attack, should I say. So about 5.2 million, which is not terrible. He does raise attack and defense on his super, and he does have, like I said, the 50% damage reduction, which does make him really, really good. So this is a perfect test right here. He does have type advantage, so let's see what he takes this for. 53 damage. You could build him with a little bit of dodge. I built mine with a little more additional because of the fact he has the 50% damage reduction built in. So as long as he's on a Dragon Ball Heroes or a Giant 8 Power team and he supers at least once, he gets that additional 50% defense, plus he stacks it on his attack, and he has that 50% damage reduction. He could probably do relatively well against the Merge Zamasu event. I'm hoping. I'm not entirely sure yet, because again, this man is still going to be getting an easy A at some point. It's not going to be this year, not by any means. He's too good still to get that easy A. And by too good, I don't mean like he's busted good, but he's good enough to the point where he should be all right. The only issue we had to run on this team is, as you can see, we had to run a Hearts, which kind of sucks because now that puts us at a huge disadvantage. And this Goku at the end kind of hopefully isn't going to get us killed. Hopefully Hearts is the one that's going to get supered, if he does get supered, and we'll be able to tank the end slot attack. Because I was hoping to run dual Super Saiyan 4 Gokus, which would have been more ideal, because we do have really, really low health right now. We're at barely 500k, so if we do get supered in the final slot, this could be GG's already. So I'm hoping it's not. We already are on the second stage, which is kind of nice. If this man could double super, that would be ideal. We're probably going to get supered in this final slot. He's only taking 18k, so we might be okay even if he does get supered. Alright, perfect. So here is the best situation you could have this Gohan in. 6 out of 6 links. His other Saiyan lineage, he doesn't get 7 from Goku, so it doesn't really matter. So in slot 1, we did in fact lose the support from the Vegeta and the Goku. So now Gohan is down to 180k defense, which, see, this is where he really lacks. His defense is very, very low. Gohan does not have a whole lot of defense to start off, which makes him honestly pretty lackluster. The only thing that makes him really, really shine is the damage reduction. So luckily we're going to get one more full rotation around, and hopefully we'll get the Goku's family support of 40 on, and then we'll really be able to see this Gohan at his max capacity. Because now we have all the links active, which he was missing Shattering the Limit before, which Shattering the Limit only gives Key 2 and 5% to attack and defense. But he has Saiyan Roar. The only thing he's missing is Saiyan Lineage, which would just be 5% more, which won't make a huge difference. And we do have the Bardock on rotation. The Bardock is pretty good. He has a guard. We're going to be showcasing him actually next after this Gohan. Or either him or there's one more unit I might slide in between there, between these showcases. But right now we have the best rotation for the Gohan, the best linking partner. And let's just see how well he fares. 4.7. His attack stat is down drastically. He was just over 5 million last time, and now he is just below it. So let's see. I mean, his defense isn't... It's because of that damage reduction is why he's so tanky right now. It's because he has that damage reduction in his favor. If he didn't have that damage reduction, he would be a lot worse. Bardock is one that really needs help too. But he will go over him a little more when he does get his showcase. He's only 55% too, so that kind of does have a little bit to do with it, but not as much as you would probably assume. Alright, so we're going to go with the hearts in slot 1. Hopefully, we'll be fine. I'm, again, trying not to use a healing item or anything like that. Heart should be okay once he gets hit, as long as he doesn't get supered first. Oh, he's going to dodge, apparently. Alright, there we go. So Hearts has his defense. We should be alright. Let's see. We have 400k, so let's see what we take. 160, so yeah, not even terrible. Hearts is a really, really good unit. Like I said, I'm going to showcase him at some point as well. I think I spoke about this in the Gohan, or in the Trunks video. There's quite a few units I plan on showcasing and really going into the Super Dragon Ball Heroes units leading into the Super Dragon Ball Heroes event, which actually we should be getting the live stream in, I think, 10 days. So I really want to generate that hype with you guys and actually get us all excited for the announcement and see what we could possibly get. I'm thinking Vegito is going to get his EZA, the Super Saiyan 4, and I'm hoping we can get a Super Saiyan 4 Vegito as well, like the Limit Breaker. Alright, so here is the best rotation we could have. Gohan would have Saiyan lineage if I put him in the middle. But the only thing is if I put him in the middle, that puts the Bardock in slot 1, which I'm not a huge fan of. But he does get... Okay, he's sitting at 293,000 defense in slot 2, or slot 1. He's sitting at 305,000 in slot 2 with a support unit. So really, granted, okay, let me actually step back a second here. We did just get the Icarus to activate, so we did get an additional 15%, as well as 15% health back, so that does make sense. But the Gohan does have the 40% support from this guy, and we're going to have the Pan rotated around next turn, which will give us another 40% support. So we'll be able to keep the Gohan with relative support for the next few rotations. I mean, like I said, he raises attack and defense for the 1 turn on his super, so that's good. But is he... Well, let's just see what he can do with a full 40% support. 1 mil attack stat already. 6.19. See, that's a lot better. It would have been like 6.2, 6.3, double super, 6.5. So, realistically, this Gohan does hit really, really hard. Which is good. He hits hard. And with his damage reduction, with him double supering right there, he can, in fact, take some hits. We could probably die here if Bardock gets supered. No, we can't. Okay, he dodges. Perfect, perfect. So, the Gohan, we might be dead here. If we do, we do. It's not a big deal. You saw Gohan at his best situation. How do I feel about the Gohan? Really, let me step back into that really quick, and I'll look at it a little bit. The Gohan. What do I rate him? What do I think he needs? Well, first off, the Gohan is a solid unit through and through. There really isn't any glaring weaknesses other than his defensive stat. Which, anymore in the newer metas, you need a really high defensive stat or a minimum of like 400k start of turn to be able to handle the Fusion Zamasu stage. Plus like a guard or damage reduction of some sort. So, especially with the AoE attack doing 500,000 basic all the time, ideally, I would like to see the Gohan get maybe 250 to attack and defense, and then maybe an additional like 100% when he's performing or an attack or something, just any kind of little bit more defense. Because you got to think, when he EZAs, his stats are going to go up a little bit. He's probably going to get like maybe another 1,000 to 2,000 defense, and it'll just balance out across the stats, because it usually is a relatively decent unit to get stat boosts. And maybe raise attack and greatly raise defense, or greatly raise attack and just keep the raised defense. Or I mean, there's a lot of different things they could do with this unit. The one thing I don't want to see is I don't want to see them increase his damage reduction. That I don't want to see, because then it'll become one of those situations where the player base will look at the unit and say, well, he's too reliant to run on a Giant 8 power team. You need to have Giant 8 power or the unit is terrible. I want him to be good enough on his own that he can be ran on a Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans without Giant 8 power, but when he's ran on Giant 8 power, that makes him that much better. Having that additional 50% damage reduction. Maybe give him 20% normal, or 30% damage reduction normal, and then when he's ran on the Giant Ape power, it adds 50% to it to make it that much better, or something along the lines of that, just to make the unit that much stronger. But honestly, in my opinion, this is a pretty decent build. Maybe go a little more dodge if you're a little worried about him taking some hits, even with the 50%. But in my honest opinion, I think this unit's pretty good. I can see him being a solid unit coming into this New Year celebration, almost said, into this Dragon Ball Heroes celebration, and still being a viable unit on a Giant Ape power team. But my overall ranking, I would give him about an 8 right now. 7 or an 8 right now. With a nice easy A, he could easily be a top 5 TUR, in my opinion, if it's built properly. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time for more Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle. See you guys then.